But if you want to have real pleasure in life, and I use that word exactly for what it means, real pleasure, spine tingling, toe tingling, mind open, getting down that LSD high, seeing the fucking hexagons and shit. You know, eyes wide fucking open. Pleasure. That pleasure comes at a cost. And the cost is skill.
I've built many startups. Most of them have failed. And so Bitcoin is exactly the place that I like to be.
We're going to end it right there.
We talked about this on Friday. Right? Your rewards are in direct proportion. Your rewards are in direct proportion to the amount of fucking work that you're willing to put in. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's what we talked about on Friday. Your rewards in life. Please, for those who weren't there, please. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to anybody. Your rewards in life, what you have achieved in life, past, present, future, is in direct proportion to what you put in. So, if you're unhappy with where you are, if you don't like what you're doing, well, guess what? That's your fault. You know, I sometimes use this in corporate consulting, you know, when it comes to understanding the issues. And I go through this a fascinating exercise of sorts, but I'll give you one part of this exercise that I do with these corporate executives. Is this is the crux of sorts? It's like there is one fundamental constant. You know, there's one fundamental constant in every single problem that you have had within your leadership, within your the management that sit under you, with the board that you're trying to wrestle with shareholders, if that's a consideration, right? Or even your private life. There's one constant in all of that, in all of your failings, in all of the disappointments, in all of the distractions, in all of the shame, and all of the, right? There's one constant. And the point of the exercise, as they realize it, as we go through these little workshops of sorts, is they slowly, emergently understand that the only constant in all their problems is themselves. That's it. The only constant within all their problems in business and in personal life is themselves. Every time you have failed, every time you have fucked up, guess what? You're the only constant in that equation. Everyone else is a new variable. Everyone else is a new entity. Everyone else is it's a different culture, it's a different scene, it's a different environment, it's a different time and place. You're the only constant with every single problem that you have. So guess what? It's your fucking problem. You're the problem. Welcome to Sunday Sermon, guys. Let me take a sip of this juice and we'll get into it. Get this prepared. Ooh, you hear that? That's the sound of goodness about to come down my throat, yo. Oh, good, yo. Oh, it's gotta be like that. All right, guys. Welcome to Sunday Sermon. Welcome, Tamp. Happy balls. No matter where you are, where you go, there you are. That's right. Today's Sunday Sermon, the title of today's Sunday Sermon is There is No Pleasure Without Skill. There is no pleasure without skill. And I'm gonna through today's sermon of sorts, I'm gonna give you a couple ideas around two different mental models to have when it comes to the world. And not only am I gonna tell you about two essential, I think, mental models when it comes to the world in the context of, hey, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to create something. I'm trying to grow something. And I think that you guys have heard the shit, growth mindset. It's true. As stupid as it sounds, it's true. I think I think having a growth mindset, period. It doesn't have to be on any particular topic, any particular area of growth. But having a growth mindset, I think, you can be boiled down to all the book and all whatever. It can be boiled down into one essential principle, which is simply this. A mindset. A mindset is like that. Is a mindset that is constantly, intentionally moving itself forward. Because it's an intentional act to keep your mind within that model. To be constantly focusing on growth, to have that as the context or the filter of your life. I think it is an intentional act that will avail itself in some particular form and fashion. We know, when it comes to the laws of physics and energy, right? We know that you create energy. We know within biology and physiology, we know that you create energy. And actually, this energy in many ways can be seen. And so we know from a scientific vantage point that you create energy, and that energy does something. I'm not schooled in the deeper neurological sciences. I stuck mostly in my second master's degree. I stuck mostly to the cognitive realm of just how does the cognitive realm manifest itself in the world, not necessarily the deeper neurological considerations. So I don't know how that works, but I'll tell you, from spending a lot of time within that particular area. Corey says the growth mindset can be a double-edged sword. It is a double-edged sword. You will burn. We talked about that before, haven't we, on Sunday sermon? You will burn. You will burn because it's an intentional act. That energy needs to be spent somewhere. And so that's the whole idea. I'm done with the growth mindset. The growth mindset it's an intentional act. You'll grow somewhere. I don't know. Whatever will emerge will emerge. It's probably better to have some semblance of a plan, though, and we're going to talk about that. But I also want to share with you guys how I have transformed my life a multiplicity of times. And this is I wouldn't say that this is in as much as an intentional act as merely a function of how I was created. The foundational worldview that was created and instilled in me was simply this. The world is shifting sands. There is no solid foundation of life. It is a ride or fucking die. It is a survive mentality. You know what I've learned, though, as I grew older, so that's all that context there, is that surviving is good and surviving is fantastic. You know, I have found that surviving is good, surviving works. But if you want to have real pleasure, in life, and I'm talking about succeeding. Succeeding is an outcome. Winning is an outcome. But if you want to have real pleasure in life, and I use that word exactly for what it means. Real pleasure. Spine tingling, toe tingling, mind open, getting down that LSD high, seeing the fucking hexagons and shit. You know, eyes wide fucking open. Pleasure. That pleasure comes at a cost. And the cost is skill. And you know what? You might just even have the outcome of winning. And you might just even come out with the outcome of succeeding. But that's not the goal. The goal is to have pleasure. So I want to talk about y'all motherfuckers about pleasure. If you want true pleasure in life, it requires skill. It requires skill. It requires something that you can do extremely well. Extremely well. It is something that is intentional. It is something that takes time. It is something that will, as Corey was talking about earlier, it is something that will cost you. There will be battle scars, and we've talked about this before. There is no pleasure without skill. And I told you there's two models in which we can review the world, right? There's two models in which we can view the world. The first one is what I would call a territory mindset. A territory mindset. The other would be a hierarchical mindset or hierarchy mindset. I think it's pretty clear the differential between these two. The hierarchy mindset is problematic. The hierarchy mindset is what is ingrained in us from young adults, young children, young adults, right? It is, we are trained by that, even by the functions of living. You start at preschool, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third, fourth, fifth, all the way up. You was now the king of the pond. You a senior in high school. The function of living in today's America creates a hierarchical worldview. It creates an entire behavioral understanding deeper than your skin. It is something that is not only a fact of life, but is an empirical fact, a heuristic that you have ingrained, and no one can take it from you because you went through the system. So a hierarchy mindset is all about going up the ladder. But the problem is that on any type of ladder, when does it end? But secondly, there's always people above you. There's always people below you, but there's always people above you. And you don't really see where the end is. All you're really looking at is the person in front of your's ass. That's all. You're just looking up. And when you look up, the first thing you see is an ass. It's a terrible way to live. The problem with the hierarchy is that everyone has to compete. Everyone has to compete in all the other individuals in the order, right? They try to elevate themselves to a point where they can advance past the individuals in front of them. But also at the same time, you have to defend yourself from those underneath you. And so not only are you trying to fight the motherfuckers, moving up the chain, moving up the pay grade, moving up the influence, moving up the title, but you gotta also defend from those that are probably scrappy, like those two motherfuckers in that picture. They're willing to grind and maybe even beat you out. Guys, let it be known. We may not see it in our lifetimes. Praise the Lord. We may not see it. We might not see the day when everyone has the tools to be a king. What John and I are building with yen.io, I believe, is a manifestation of the philosophy that we hold, which is permissionless, full access, 777 access, full transparency, when you want it, when you don't want it, we don't give a fuck. Go on with your bad self. These are the philosophical tenets that John and I operate by. We want to give the world a financial tool that includes all of that. That allows you guys to transact however the fuck you want. To allow you to truly, we are answering the call, let me call it out, Some of you guys haven't heard my other Sunday sermons, but let me call it out. I've talked about this. If you want to go back, you can listen to the previous Sunday sermons. But we are answering the call of scale. All these lame-ass ICOs and all these shitty projects that say, we can scale. Okay, great. Show me the money. Show me the money. Oh, that's right. Oh, your scaling algorithm and your test net for scale is going to be launched in 2020? So why would I give you money? Please. We're answering scale. We're doing what Bitcoin could not. We're doing what certainly no other coin can. We're going to allow you to transact with anyone, anywhere. And guess what? You don't even have to know. You don't even have to have the same exchange. You don't even have to have. You don't have to give. You don't have to trust the other individual on the other side. If you're transferring out of Binance and they're transferring out of Coin, you don't give a fuck. All you want to know is the address right. They pull it out of Coinbase. You pull it out of Binance. And then you trade with another person. They're fucking, what the fuck is this? Huobi? OKX? I don't know what the fuck that is, but I don't care. Actually, you won't know and you won't care. We're hiding all the complexities of this interoperability within our fucking social blockchain, guys. We're hiding all the complexities. That's why I'm so excited. Because you literally don't have to trust the other person on the other end, what security systems they have, what two-factor authentication they have, how much money do they have. You don't need to care about any of that. All you know is that you created a transactional opportunity where you sold a service or a good and they're willing to pay you for it. You don't care where it comes from, as long as it fucking mixes right and transacts and gets verified on the blockchain. And you'll look at me and say, damn, Peter, fuck, you just created scale. And you're like, I know. Isn't that fucking awesome? And so a hierarchy, the problem with the hierarchy is it creates self-worth within the ladder. Another problem is it modifies your behavior. A ladder modifies your behavior. You act towards others based on where you perceive them on the fucking ladder. I would not change who I am if I'm talking to Bill Gates or John McAfee. I probably won't curse as much as I usually do out of respect because I don't fully understand their context, and I would like the interview to go on. And so obviously I make a behavioral decision not to cuss as much when I do interviews. But the passion's still there. I'm excited to talk with them, just like I'm excited to talk with you guys. And so nothing changes. I don't care if you're John McAfee, Bill Gates, or fucking Donald Trump. If you got me the opportunity to talk with Donald Trump, I'd be the same Doge Lord and be like, yo, Donald Trump, what's going on, bro? These double spend problems that you're having in the Fed, these banking problems that you're having, these financial problems that you're having, I got the answer, bro. Donald Trump, you need to get on that Bitcoin. No. You need to get on that Bitcoin. It would be the same. The last problem with the hierarchy is that what happens is you evaluate how you behave based on that hierarchy, which is the whole point of that just example. Chode, that's right. We have to guys killing me, man, with this chode stuff. Oh, guys. So let's talk about the territory mindset. And this is the mindset that was ingrained in me. This is the mindset, the only mindset that I understood. So we're calling this the territory mindset. We're going to call this the territory mindset. What makes the territory mindset not only the way to survive, but in my opinion, the way to absolute pleasure? It's powerful, what I'm calling a territory mindset. It can not only give you immense pleasure, but the pleasure comes at a cost. It's the cost of skill. You need skill. And how do you get skill? We're going to talk about that. But let's first jump into the territory mindset. Territory mindset. A territory provides substance. It provides life to you. Okay, we're jumping right in. Territory provides your sustenance. It's what you're going to survive off of. You need to find within your arena, your area of interest. We're going to expand upon this more. But wherever you're interested in improving, a skill you want to improve, you want to get pleasure out of the skill you're trying to improve, a hobby, a side hustle, a new career, get off your fucking ass, you're fat as fuck, time to get in shape. I don't know where you are, pay off debt. You got to understand what the territory is. You got to understand what's going on. A territory in and of itself is your playground. It's your playground. It's where you're going to operate. And frankly, you shouldn't operate outside your playground because you're trying to do something here. You're trying to improve. You're trying to change something. You're trying to grow. That's your playground. That's your framework. That's your guardrails. Stay in your fucking lane if you're trying to improve something. Skill requires that focus. And what's great about this territory, it's not only your sustenance, it's what you're going to feed off of. It's kind of like the same substance, but to survive within this, let me put it this way. How am I trying to think of this thought? To survive within your playground, it doesn't require any external input. You got everything you need in your playground. You just got to find out what's going on, what tools you need, what skills you need. And did you know when you're growing your territory, you're not fighting against a ladder. We talked about this in another Sunday sermon. You fighting against yourself. A territory can only be claimed by one. This is very clear. Remember how the settlers of the ancient past, the Napoleons, the Columbuses, whatever all the explorers. Territory, please, if you're taking notes, territory can only be claimed by one person. And you better be fucking sure it's you. You gotta master this motherfucker. This is your territory. This is your house. You guys hear me talk. You guys have seen me talk on Discord chat. You guys know that I love my territory physically. I'm not talking metaphysically right now, just physically. You guys know what I'm talking about. This is my house. This is my land. I bought this land. I built a house on this land. My wife designed it. I designed the garage. But this is my land. I own this motherfucker. And I take it seriously. This is my domain. And you say, well, Peter, why are you talking so passionately about it? If you haven't been fucking paying attention, I kill about 2 squirrels and 1 fucking chipmunk every fucking day. This is my... This is my... I'm defending my property, guys, from alien invaders. If you haven't, I'm fucking just snorted, guys. If you haven't just... You guys know I don't give a fuck. Come on. They were first here, bro. Hey, happy balls. I'm going to give you that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Please take note. Don't miss it. Here we go. Territory can only be claimed by one. This is my fucking land. Hey, you want to succeed? You want to have pleasure? You got to have skill. And you know what? You got to figure out what your territory is. You got to open your fucking eyes, see what's going on. Are you into blueberry picking? You into blueberry making juice? You know what? You need to know your place. What's the blueberry market like? What's the local market like? What's the competition like? You need to fucking know if you want to succeed fucking selling blueberries. You want to do YouTube? Great. Understand the playground. Understand the YouTube world. Where's your demographic? Is it guns? Is it fucking crypto? Is it making PCs? Is it PC gaming? Is it cooking? Is it making fucking blueberry juice? I don't know what your interest is. That's why we're building Yen, so you can create whatever sandbox you want. But that's your playground. It can only be claimed by one because you're only fighting yourself. And remember, land can only be claimed by one. This is your fucking house. Take it seriously. Territory, don't miss this. Territory can only be claimed by work. You gotta fucking work. You want this? You want it? I think you guys know I'm passionate about Yen. I fucking want it. I want it so bad. I'm telling you guys, behind the scenes, the functions that we're creating, the fucking explosion in Rapaji opportunities, because I want this. I'm building it, guys. I'm so fucking excited. And you know what? Ain't nothing gonna stop me. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. Ain't nobody gonna stop my brother. We've been hacked. We got people fucking impersonating us. I get fucking prank calls. I got fucking the fire department coming to me. I got people trying to whatever. Guys, everyone's trying to destroy us. Everybody's trying to take our juice. You can't stop this. You can't stop this. We all up in this motherfucker. We ain't going away. We want this too bad. This is our house. This is our territory. We're not competing against no ladder. We don't want to be the number one fucking YouTuber. We don't want to be the number one exchange in the world. We don't want to be the whatever fucking category you want to put us in. We ain't going away. That's what you got to contend with. This is my house. This is our land. And we claiming this for fucking Yen. And last, with a territory mindset, we talked about this on Friday. A territory returns exactly what you put in. Your rewards in life. Your rewards in life, we talked about this Friday, are in direct proportion to the grind you put in. Don't ever expect anything else different than that. A territory returns exactly what you put in. That's how it is. That's how it is. A territory will give you back. You will reap what you sow. So let's end this sermon, guys. Here we go. 6 things, if you're taking notes. 6 things to how to get that skill with a territory growth mindset so that you can have extreme pleasure. And you say, Peter, you haven't talked about pleasure yet. It's coming, guys. We exploded in the Podgy. The buildup is by design. Number 1, you want to have pleasure? You got to have skill. Here's how you get skill and pleasure. You got to decide what you're going to do. That's it. Number 1, you got to decide. Start today. Don't start tomorrow. Start today. Start today. Just do it. You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe nothing. Okay, great. Fantastic. At least you tried. Start again. But decide. Decide if you're going to do something. And then just fucking do it. Number 2. Create it's going to be, it sounds overthinking, but please create a very light framework. Like super light. Not even a fucking framework. Just a behavioral modification. A super light framework for how you're going to operate through whatever you're going to change. Well, how are you going to start taking over this territory? How are you going to stop, eating that junk food and fucking getting, stop being fat and get healthy again? How are you going to start that career change? How are you going to quit that job? How are you going to start that side hustle? Create a very light, super light. It's just a model, just a framework for how you're going to do it. Are you going to start, are you going to wake up earlier? I don't know. Choose something. You're going to wake up earlier? Are you going to start exercising at 6 o'clock? Maybe just on Wednesday? I don't know. A light framework for how you're going to start changing your behavior towards that skill. Time box it. I know this is all B90X, guys. I've talked about all this stuff on B90X, but I get to give you an sermon format now instead of a 15-minute clip. Number 3, time box this motherfucker. How long are you going to be willing to dedicate this shit to see whether this is worth it? Because you know what? Ain't nothing going to happen in the first 90 days. Trust me. Ain't nothing going to happen. You know why you guys are here at Sunday Sermon? Because I did 90 days of B90X, and fucking only 0.2% of pubbers actually go through that shit. If you go through that, it's not going to change your life until after the 90 days, when you're reminded of something. And then maybe you join in Sunday Sermon, and I get to grill it into you again. But you create a light behavioral change, a light model. How are you going to start? There has to be some sort of consistency to it. Please choose something more than just once a week. I'd start with not every day. I wouldn't say every day. Just say, let's just pick a time. Pick a time. Pick a time to start. But time box this motherfucker. How long are you going to do it for? How long are you going to run this experiment for? I like 90 days. 90 days is just enough time for me to hate exactly what I'm doing. And that's just how I work. How I work is it takes me 90 days to fully hate and fully appreciate the experiment at the same time. It's a fascinating thing that happens in my mind around the 85th to 90th day of an experiment. I know it's coming because I've lived long enough and I've run enough experiments on my life. I know it's coming, but it always comes for me. And I don't know if it's going to come for you, but it always comes. The 85th to 90th day, I finally, for whatever that experiment is, I finally reached the abject pinnacle of my hatred for that endeavor. I've reached the wit's end. I'm at the end of my rope. The candle has been burnt at both ends, and it's gone. I am fucking done with this experiment. But at the same time, at 85 to 90 days, I begin to really appreciate the value of why I did it. And sometimes, just sometimes, the value of it is just to say that I fucking did it. Number 4, take fucking notes. Please, write. Take a journal. It's so hokey, but it's true. How many times have you heard it? Get a fucking journal. Keep it close. I have a moleskin. I keep it close. You guys see my desk? I got sticky notes all up in this motherfucker. It's just how I work. I know that note-taking is the only way that I can remember that ingenious idea that I thought about at fucking 2:30 in the morning. I have to roll over and I have to fucking write it down. If I don't write it down, it's gone. It's vapor. It is in the wind and someone else is going to pick it up. I don't know, but it's moving out of my territory. I have to understand what my territory is. And when ideas spring within my territory, within my mindset, whatever I'm trying to improve, when inspiration or ideas come, I must write it down because it's part of the territory that has just been revealed to me. And I need to remember it. Number 5, learn from others, obviously. Start learning from others. You want to get good at something, you want to get good at a skill, you obviously got to learn from other people. So I think that's pretty simple. Find people that are better than you at what you're doing and start learning from them. Whatever it is. Farming, blueberry, selling, marketing, improving your public speaking, becoming a better employee. I don't know what it is. Whatever you want to do. Learn from people that are fundamentally better than you are in that particular meta playground that you want to be a part of. Number 6 is the hardest, but it's the most important. I hope you're taking notes because this is the hardest one. Number 6 is you have to teach. Isn't it fascinating that everyone that you've been inspired by, everyone that you've learned something very powerful from, you know what they're doing? They're talking to you. We could say, at a larger, cheaper way, they're teaching you. That's why they're good at it. And that's why you're fucking listening. They have mastered their craft. They are now teaching others through the act of communication, whatever context it is. I don't care. It could be under the context of marketing. It could be under the context of selling. It could be the context of coaching. It could be the context of mentoring. It could be the context of, contracting. It could be under the context of, I don't know, facilitating. I don't know what it is. But you know what they're doing at the heart of it? Is they are communicating what they know and what they have learned. That's when you know you've mastered, or at least you're moving towards the upper echelons of your craft, of your skill. And let me tell you guys, we're at the magnum opus. We're at the end of this. You know what I'm doing with you guys right now? I am communicating my heart and my soul, as imperfect as it is, to you. I have, in the meta game of my life, I have achieved the upper echelons of greatness within my playground. I speak at international conferences. And this is before fucking YouTube. Fuck crypto for a second. My previous career. I published 2 books. I traveled the world consulting at some of the most beautiful countries and met some of the most beautiful people that I'll never forget. Some of them become lifelong friends. For almost 10 years, I averaged 165,000 miles in the fucking seat. Delta.com, baby. And I was making great money. No, not great. Fucking excellent. Exceptional money. But that's not the point. The point is what I was just saying before the money. I met wonderful people. I got to do awesome things. I got to see amazing places. The places I have seen, guys, the inside of corporations. And you say, well, Peter, I thought you were talking about landscapes and fucking mountains and skis. No, I have seen the insides of some of the most powerful and profound and innovative companies on the planet. And I'm telling you guys, don't believe me, please. But when I have the opportunities to travel internationally, go to these international companies, huge, powerful, innovative companies, and see the backbone and see what's going on behind the scenes, it allows me to make very powerful decisions for myself. But did you know that being able to have all that pleasure, being able to be that excited, and sometimes and John can tell you this, I get migraines sometimes because I get so excited. I get so excited going to these places. It's like, man, brother, I get to see X, Y, and Z. I get to see what they're doing, A, B, and C. John, brother, did you know these motherfuckers were doing, D, E, and F? Guys, you want to know? That is my pleasure. That is my pleasure. But you know what? The gateway to that pleasure was skill. And I became in one of my longest pivots is a top tier Agile and Scrum software development consultant for the world. It was great. It was tiring. It was hard work. But man, the most pleasurable moments of my entire career, could only be manifested if I had grinded how I grinded and worked harder than anyone else to do this. to be on the international book tour circuit, to be on the international speaking circuit, to have consulting gigs in different countries all over the world. Like, I had to earn it. And I had to have the skills to allow the world to allow me in. And so you guys right now, you guys are seeing the pinnacle of my skill set, which is communicating. My skill set is communicating. I am a communicator. Did you know that I was not always that way? Did you know that I spent years at Toastmasters? That I spent years at Carnegie Mellon public speaking training? No, you didn't know that. But I could show you the certificates. You see, I knew that for me to be a technologist who builds cool shit, I knew that I needed to be able to see what the most influential and powerful technology companies are doing. And the only way that I could understand that meta play and to get behind those doors without being an employee is I got to be a consultant. And I got to be good at it. I got to be able to tell powerful stories of how we can change the world through Agile and Scrum software development. And now, my message is very simple. It's even simpler. My message now is, how can you change your fucking life? Oh, and by the way, we're going to use crypto to do it. We're going to use crypto to do it. Number one, decide on what the fuck you're going to do and start doing it. Number two, create a very light model, a behavioral change in how you're going to start establishing a cadence for your delivery of that change. Number three, you got to time block this motherfucker. How long are you willing to go for this experiment? 90 days? Please. Make it 6 months. You want life change? It's got to be better than B90X. Number four, take fucking notes. Please. There you go. Look at that. Kimchi. Number four, take fucking notes. There you go. Number five, find people then better than you and learn from them. And number six, doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm teaching you what I have done to not only change my life multiple times, but to have immense pleasure doing it at the top of my game. You know what? Guess what, guys? When it comes to cryptocurrency, I'm not even top of my game. I'm a fucking noob. I am a fucking noob in cryptocurrency in terms of my social standing in this world of crypto. I am a fucking green bean. I am a nobody, and I love it. Because I traded, please don't miss this, I traded the highest level of success in a consulting world to see the plays so I can make great programming decisions on my own. To be a vassal. To be a fucking plebe. To be a fucking peon in the world of cryptocurrency. And I love you guys being right here with me. Because we're going to take over the world. But it's going to take some time. And we're going to have to earn it.